Hi, good afternoon. This is the second direct engagement we are doing with all of you right now. I will not be the only person who will be speaking to you. I have my core team, which is I, Nhrdn and Nikshay. The three of us will attempt to put forth to you what has been happening with this team in the last 4 months. During the national conference, right, I had put forth what this board has decided as the focus areas. Repeatedly stated that this board will respect the traditions of National HRD Network. While respecting it, it would also question it. One of the first questions we asked to say is that, are we as a body called National HRD Network currently relevant to the HR community? We'll have to face the answer square and straight, right? We are relevant to a few and we are not relevant to many. Now we have to ask the question, how would we become relevant to all the people in the HR community in India? When we asked and posed this question and when we debated as a team, we came up with the following. A, to say that we have today products and services which we make available to our members at this point of time. Now the question is that, are these the products and services the larger HR community want? I'm sure that many of these products and services are relevant to the whole of HR community, but they may not be the only products and services the HR community want, and they may want more. So we clearly said the path to relevance is to be able to serve the larger HR community, not just the limited number of members we have, with contemporary and relevant products and services. So that will be our first focus. The second focus, we need to come back and say, how would we be financially stable and independent? So as a responsible board, we want to apply our mind to see how we can create sustainable funding for this institution so that we can create those products and services and distribute and deliver it to all of us. The third focus area, very, very simple, is to say, today we have 30 chapters. Out of the 30 chapters, on last count, we know that there are about 9 to 10 chapters which are live and kicking. There are 20 other chapters which are in dormancy. That is not necessarily a good health card to have for an institution. How do we make all the 30 chapters live and kicking for its members? Last but not least, National HRD Network is a knowledge network. It's a professional network. We cannot call ourselves a knowledge network without creating proprietary knowledge. If you remember my first engagement with you, I promised that I will visit all the chapters, right? I have done 9 chapters till now. As I went and sat with the executive teams of all these chapters and thereafter I engaged the members of it, the headline is to say that our current method of networking at this point of a time is not bringing newer people into the network. And the chapters are saying that how do we become relevant in being contemporary to the younger members. Second, they have said that we don't have the finances to create products and services. Why can't you be the manufacturer, or why can't you be the person who will get these products and services and make it available to us so that we can take it to the members and give it to them? Third, which is important, they said at a time when travel is so difficult for people and younger people are very, very comfortable with a digital platform. So they said, where is the next app on a smartphone from National HRD Network? That's the other thing they brought on the table. Fourth, they also said that we should have differential offerings for different members. For example, they say, can you have a membership for students at 1,000 rupees? Last but not least, they said that we need a lot more board members of National HRD Network visiting the chapters and being resource persons for the events of the chapters. If you want a particular body to be relevant to you, you have to come into the body. By staying out, you are not going to make this body become relevant to you. I would want each one of you in the HR community, come in, demand of us products, services which you need, and make us give it to you. To the members, it's your body. You have to be our brand ambassadors. Each one of you should walk out and say that I am going to make National HRD Network relevant to the entire HR community, not only for the members. That's not the only thing. The content for National HRD Network resides with you. If you do not bring the content and put it out to us, we will not be able to bring that content and give it to the larger HR community. Lastly, I'm coming down to the chapters. I also think the chapters need to really pay back to the HR community and to the national body. Let us say if we propose with you a MOU where we say that the national body will deliver to you A, B and C. Can we hold you accountable to distribute that in a high quality? And can we hold you accountable for enrolling members? Last but not least, we want our national body to be held in high esteem with great reputation. That cannot happen if the chapters are not run with a concern for fiduciary responsibility, for the concern for how they manage the business, and for concern for how you uphold the integrity which we all swear by. I'm saying this that if we want to revive the next 20 chapters, we have to start by asking by saying, why did they become dormant? This is basically our expectation from the board from all the chapters.
Let me begin by wishing all of you a Happy New Year. I'd like to share some experiences with you on what steps the leadership team and the board are taking in strengthening NHRD, and we have taken necessary corrective actions to ensure that we continue to be relevant to our customers, which is all of you, and continue to provide value at a price point which indeed is competitive. This year we recently concluded our 19th National HR Conference in November in Delhi. Roughly 1,000 people attended this conference from around the country, and we had over 50 speakers. We picked leadership, we picked performance as subjects to have conversations around. We believe that we had put together a conference that people wanted to attend. And this is a representation of the efforts that the NHRDN body is making to ensure that we are relevant and competitive in everything that we do. Another program that I'd like to talk to you about, which is a flagship offering again at NHRDN, are the Ram Charan Awards. It is a competition, which means that there are awards to be given out for the top 3 professionals in the young professional category, as well as the top 3 students from MBA schools. But NHRDN started this as a program to identify top talent. The third initiative that I'd like to talk to you about is really the strategic HR program for mid-level professionals. Mid-level professionals come and attend a week-long residential program to ensure that we bridge the gap between theory and practice. The National HRD network and body is of course taking steps in reorganizing itself that will support our growth and support the strengthening of this body in being relevant and being able to deliver quality and value across the country. But I do have a concern that I'd like to share with all of you. As the National Treasurer, I do want to express to you that for any organization to be able to sustain itself and provide quality and value, it must have good financial health. And I do see an opportunity through a couple of initiatives. One, of course, reduce its dependence on sponsorship. We believe that a sustainable revenue stream is important to ensure that, of course, our financial viability is maintained, and that revenue stream can be achieved through products and services that again are relevant and are needed by the users or by the community at large. Another aspect that I'd like to dwell upon is in fact the membership drive. We have only 12,000 members as of today. I do believe that that is only a fraction of what the opportunity is. We need to ensure we continue to deliver high value at a price point that is affordable, which I now define as affordable excellence. I thank you once again for your support.
Good afternoon to all of you. We've got to be looking at what should be the accountabilities of each one of us, and then how do we drive the program. The nicest thing that has happened is the formation of working committees. So let me go through a few. You talked about relevance. The second very important part, what I could make out is you're looking at reach. So for reach, you're talking about the Digital Connect and Engagement Committee, and that's being led by Sriram Rajgopal. Look at the number of HR professionals that we have in India today. We have almost, let's take a number, let's say 300,000 HR professionals. The numbers that we have as members is not even a tenth of that. Relevance is the one that can get them into the door. You will get to hear what this committee is doing. There is a digital app that's going to come away. You talked volubly about governance. I think it's an extremely important part. Governance, and we have a team under the leadership of Mr. Rajiv Dubey working on governance, audit, and finance. The other one that we have is the funding resource. You talked about, you have a body, but you really cannot be worried all the time as to when it's going to get enough funding for this NetSitha project. So we have Sudesh, who's looking after that. We also have the Knowledge Collation, Codification, Research and Publication Committee. That's being led by Anjali Raina. The next one that we have is the Membership Mobilization, Chapter Relationship and Service Committee. I think it's a very important one. You're looking at, can't we have more members? The reach of the membership is very, very important. We've got Jeet. There is no way that with the current way that we have articulated this, we will be able to scratch even the surface. So Jeet and Compass reached out. One of the things that he's doing is he's got a complete policy recast of what we have, and so he's in a way finding ways to kind of shake up and ask those very searching questions. Why is it and how is it that we can bring more members onto the fold? We have a Product Innovation and Management Committee, and this is run by TK Sriram. It's a very exciting one. This is the one that's going to be launching an app and a platform called Agora. Agora is a Greek word for marketplace. We are looking at Expert Connect, where anybody who is a member, regardless of what is the level of that membership, or whether he's a fresher or he's a mid-career HR professional or a person at the top of the totem pole, they can reach across to experts anywhere. Second one is learning. If this membership is a lot about learning is a lot about certification. At the moment, we're going to launch only a couple, Ram.
Yes.
We're going to be launching the one on employee relations. There's another one which is
Interviewing skills. Yeah.
We also have a large body of HR service providers, and many of them keep reaching out to a number of organizations. So we are hoping to become that marketplace which will start to accredit these. If you're looking at a marketplace is the one where you have an aggregation, but we want to make sure that we get all the right people into that marketplace.
Quality stuff.
And of the right quality. The fourth one, and I'm very excited about this one, is NHRDN is about networking. Much of that networking that I've seen in my few years is when people sign up to you and seek jobs. In which case, at least for HR professionals, we should become that premium platform which can help people connect. Last but not the least is, we've got to have research on demand. There's been a lot of work that has happened, and we've got to find a way that we can aggregate all of that. Is there a way that if you go to NHRD and say, can you commission this particular search for me, can you get me this information, then very quickly we'll be able to assemble all of this information and give it to you as a package research. The last one is one of the most, I would say this is really that committee, this working committee is the one that gives the lifeblood to what all the other committees are doing. We call this the Youth Advisory Board. The one that was always a bit of a question mark in our minds was, are we relevant to the youth of today? The youth board is of course led by Vishpala Reddy. So we talked about the relevance, you talked about the reach. The third one, which is most important for us, is really results.
Yeah.
Each chapter has to have a certain agenda of its own, should be able to talk to the rest of its polity and should be able to deliver on its beyond its intention on the few things that it says, this is what I'm going to promise, this is what I will be doing. If you ask ourselves, every member who is there in any chapter, am I contributing? Because as much as I ask, as much as I demand, it's also about what do I pay back. There is a quality of giving in just making sure. So that's a demand that we're placing on all our board members as well, on all our chapter presidents as well, to say, when I talk about results, I'm saying, you can have your results, you can have your metrics in any which way you want. But the key metrics are the ones are about membership. My expectation is each one of these chapters should be able to take this on and say that I'm not going to wait for the next call that comes in from our Director General Kamal Singh, but to say this is what I wish to steer. And the other one that I expect from the larger chapters, if you are a chapter who's a leading chapter, and there is another chapter which is not too far from where you are, but needs help, find a way to support that chapter.
Correct.
I think it's very important that we nurture these, because then you can get the best out of it. The governance will tell us how to run these chapters. The nurturance is the one that will get them to start to flower.
For the chapters, for the members, and for the HR community which is waiting and watching, do I come in, don't I come in? And we say, come in.
Come in, absolutely. The doors are wide open. Come on,
Come in
come
now.
on.